Sure. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Thank you. All right. Well, I got a little baby in the background here, so that drowns me out a bit. No worries. I'll try to talk over. Yeah, so I'm a software engineer with Knowledge Hook. I've been a high school teacher and a tutor in the past, and been developing virtual manipulatives for a long time. One sec. There we go. And so it's just really exciting to get to share them with everybody here and get feedback and stuff like that. So I won't take up too much of your time. There's a lot to dig into today, and somebody keeps spitting out their pacifier. Give me one second. He is 4 weeks. Yep.
So we have gorgeous weather today, so it's really nice, but my students are struggling. They're college students, and they're finding remote very difficult. Yeah, it's tough.
Hi, Teresa. Good morning. I've missed the Saturday routine. There have been many things that happened since the last session, and every time I wanted to come on, then water damage behind the dishwasher that ran all the way down to the laundry room downstairs, all sorts of things. But I'm back, so but the teaching's going well thanks to you. I enjoy hearing all the students' voices every day. So thank you so much. I can't thank you enough.
I'm in Michigan, and there was a big, huge debate on Friday. When we went back to school, the board decided that if we got to certain numbers, we would go back to remote, and that happened on Friday. But not all the board was on for that, so it was a big argument. But we're going to be virtual for 21 days. We have to be in Orange for 21 days to go back. Yes, that's why I'm here today. Thank you. Yeah, that's why I'm here today. So, because this time, thankfully, they gave us Monday as a day off, so we can like switch gears. You know, like we don't have to. We're not responsible for students on Monday at all. So Monday will be the day that we do that. So I promised myself I would fill my bucket. So today, the only thing school related I'm allowed to do is your workshop, and then I'm not allowed to touch anything school related until Monday. Give myself a break, because I think sometimes we work too. Sometimes you work, you're not getting anything done. So yours didn't come literally out of your workshop because yeah, right, exactly. So what? Yeah,
This is
where's that website?
Hudson, and webinars today, John, John and Kyle up in Canada, and they've got a 2-day summit. I just watched James Tanton from Australia, and if you go to the Global Math Project, they have a personal polynomial, and you type in your first name, and it will spit out your polynomial with using your letters. It's really fun to watch. He did a couple at the end. And he thinks if, yeah, he said just go personal polynomial and it should pop up.
Did you say Global Math Project? Because it was muddled for me for a second.
Global Math Project, but then he
Okay, thank you.
just personal polynomial.
Good morning, Teresa. So I teach a fourth grade class that is about a third of my class is special education. So they have IEPs, learning disabilities, and I have also a third of my class are new arrivals to the country. And when we were in person, writing was always a struggle. And so this week we've been writing summary paragraphs of books that we read. And for some reason, it just clicked. If the kids are copying, pasting, like from their graphic organizers into their paragraphs, they're learning how to highlight. Things that we weren't maybe doing in person are somehow clicking virtually, and my kids are writing more on the Google Slides than they ever did in person. So I'm a really happy teacher today.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not. We can have as few as one color, and I know up to 4 colors and possibly more depending on the size of the pieces.
The orange ones are a 1/4 inch wide horizontally and or a unit and a third of a unit tall, so they're not squares.
Well, when I look at the number line at the bottom, you have a 0, 1, and then it stopped right before 2. So you basically model in 1 3/4, and also like 1 1/4 at the top. This is between the first line between 1 and 2.
Well, you just you just thinking like, will it be more colors, or what are they calculating, or like, is it gonna grow up and out like we did that workshop 2 weeks ago where with the squares and so that's what I was thinking. How's it gonna look bigger? Or what are they calculating in this? What are they measuring? Mm-hmm. Right. So it kind of connects me with what we did 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago or was it 3 weeks ago? Weeks ago? 3. 2. I don't remember. I remember. Oh yeah, agreed. 100,000% on that.
I guess I was thinking not, now that I look at it, it's not that the scales are different, but the tick marks are different. So it's counting obviously on the bottom by quarters up to the whole unit, and then it's counting by thirds on the y-axis.
Oh, this is for me now. I didn't even realize that when I said when I was doing accounting when I was looking at the axis. But it's thirds because the 2 will be the 3/3. So you will just need 2 tick marks in the middle because the whole number will be the third one.
Sure. Yeah. Sorry about earlier. I didn't get a chance to totally sort of introduce myself, but I think I can set up this problem for everybody here. One thing I would mention about this tool and just sort of the tools that I've been developing in general is that it's so important to give kids time to just absorb the tool and discover functionality. I've had experience going and saying, okay, here's the tool, now solve this problem. But if it's something that the students have only seen for the first time, sometimes the lesson itself can be in discovering the tool. So I encourage everybody to open it up, make sure it works. I know everybody is different places using different browsers, and so as I develop this, I'm always tracking down places where people might have trouble. So if you have any glitches or errors, let me know. Perfect. I see Teresa's got it. And the first prompt I would give everybody is, well, don't give it away, Teresa. How do you adjust the size of the axis? And I'll give you all a moment just to play around. Yeah, so part of the inspiration for this tool was I've seen a lot of fraction multiplication and decimal multiplication area models, but I always saw them kind of in isolation, right? And I never saw them all next to each other at the same time, which I think really helps foster coherence. So one of the things that we discussed in one of our working sessions here was how would a very, very young student interpret it, and then what's the ceiling? How would an adult or a fourth, fifth, sixth grade student interpret what they see, and the establishing sort of progression of learning that comes from those two perspectives. So Teresa, can you go ahead? There you go. So for the people who said this was good for whole numbers, I'm not sure if you noticed, but you can actually zoom all the way out. No, it's not, Laura. Take a look at the screen that she's, yep. So one of the things I love to do is hide features kind of in plain sight. And so this is the scale mechanism is one of those things. So, I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still here, so I just sort of trailed off there. Yeah, I think hopefully everyone's seeing now how many conversations stem from just playing with this tool. And one thing I'd mention about today, this is one of those activities that it was probably a month of playing with this tool before I thought to ask questions in this way. And so what I'm hoping is that this is sort of an activity that will inspire other activities. So if you're getting ideas or you find other ways to use this, there is no wrong way to do it. Please, try it out and feel free to reach back out and let me know what you think. I do all of the development for these tools, and it's usually just whatever I think would be cool or teachers ask for. So go ahead and reach out at any point if you have a feature or something that you'd see like to see implemented or try, and I can turn that around for you. Go ahead and launch the task. You have the best voice in the room for it. But one last thing I will mention is A few other people have seen this, and I appreciate everyone for being here because I know Kyle Pierce is having his big seminar today, so there's a lot of competition. He actually works closely with Knowledge Hook at times, and so he's had a chance to play around with some of these and give feedback. So I just wanted to give him a little shout out, and now I guess go ahead and take it away.
Hi, Teresa. This is Lydia. I'm not sure how many members are in the group.
Teach the whole thing to them. So this is going to be amazing for us. I'm super excited.
Yeah, you can tie your fractions in with your decimals. When you do your fractions, lots of kids, and that maybe that'll help hot for the kids make an understanding.
Yeah, we do. I do a ton of like manipulation.
Sure what that means. Okay. Okay, thank you. So I did Hi, new people. That was all Stephanie. So I tried the doing it by halves. So I did 6. Wait, what did I do? I did the 6 right here, And then I did a half to get these two and put this two together to make it a whole to equal 7.
Oh, that makes sense. I see what you did. Would it be an in between?
So this would be really, I really have a ridiculous question, but
Like this? Something like that? Actually, Teresa, if you don't mind, can you explain the problem a little bit more? I think because my brain is in 4th grade mode and Stephanie's in the 3rd grade, we're just getting used to this. I know how fractions work, but it's weird. Right. Right.
Yeah, I did that one. Be a quarter.
So the 6 and 7 units are unit square, like that's the total area, correct? Like it would look like what just, I think Stephanie just put it. Oh, okay. I was using 6 and 7 as factors. I think that's where I got confused.
I don't know. I couldn't. I like how you put the numbers on the screen. So I was like, okay, like I need to. I like that feature, but maybe that would be something nice to be able to do is to write on it. I'm like, okay, I did something, but I don't know how much it's worth. I haven't processed that yet.
And if the pinks are a quarter, then the yellows must be 8s, right? Is there half of the quarter?
Yes.
I think. I'm not 100% sure.
That's everybody in here. Hey,
Okay. 2 1/3 times 3.
And I think of it as 3 1/3, which would be a whole.
Yep. Yeah. Right. I can adjust that. Thank you.
But if you made it quarters, you could
Yeah.
just adjust
I think
that.
that's probably like in my brain what I was. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, see, I grabbed a different picture from my Snagit tray. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
That's what
Yeah,
happens
it's hard
to me
moving
running
back
on a
and back
Saturday.
and forth. Yeah.
Like what parameters you can use and which, like what, is that what you mean? Like limits to it? So for example, I did one with a third, which I took off and now I have to replace with like fourths, knowing that first it was a mistake. Like I grabbed the wrong picture from my Snagit tray. But like knowing that like my fraction piece can't equal a whole. So knowing that I have to choose fractions that are going to be smaller and that's going to bring me less than 7. So I already like know in my brain, like I have to do a fourth or a fifth or a sixth or something. Like if I'm doing a 2x3, that's going to push me very close to 6 or 7. So in my brain, like as I'm working, I have to think about, now I'm like, oh, I have to think about those things. Knowing that I have to have it be less than 7, greater than 6. So if I do just like a straight 2x3, which I can't, that's exactly going to give me an area of 6. I know that I want to have it a little bit more than 6. If I start with a 2x3, like that's my starting place, although that's not the only way that I can do it. But in my mind, that's the easiest place to start, and knowing that I have to be mindful of the fraction pieces that I'm including because I can't go above a 7.
So I was just, I was thinking as you were talking, and I was kind of consumed with creating my own little fraction, and I'm on slide 16. And so you were saying you couldn't go above a 6 or 7, and so I had already been creating this one where obviously you can do, depending on what you choose for the other parameter, right? I chose at 1/2, and so I was able obviously to go to 12.5 to make an area that is still within the right range. Does that make sense?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, on slide 16.
Yeah, it's that long one that's on the left.
Yeah.
There's just so many options.
Or, I mean, it's like, how long do you want to work on these? Teresa, do you want us to type something in or just tell you right now? I just started thinking, okay, 2x3 is 6. Let me get just slightly more than 2 or slightly more than 3. That's what I thought about. For one lesson. Let's see if I can type something up.
So originally, what I had first done, we were discussing as a group, you know, like this between 6 and 7. And so originally, what I had done was an area, like with like say a length of 6, and then an width of 7, and then we were discussing like, wait, no, we want between 6 and 7 of the total amount of blocks. And so then I used up like friendly numbers to me. So I mean, most of us probably prefer whole numbers. So I ended up doing whole numbers, and then I took the pink blocks and made that into using a different type of block for 1/4. And there were 4 of the 1/4 blocks, which came together to be 1 and equal a total number of 7.
6 and 2/5. I think it's mine. Is it group 3? Um, I just use fractional multiplication, but you could count the 4 blue blocks for a total of 4. And then if you look at the scale on the vertical axis, you'll see those are fifths. So you would know that 5 red blocks make a whole. So, and then another 5 like another whole. So you've got, and then 4 in the blue. And then I don't know how you're going to, then I'll let you draw around 5 of the red blocks make number 5. 5 more blocks make number 6, and you have 2/5 left over. Uh, that's going back to the scale, and you see there are 4 tick marks, but 5 sections, and the base is 1 unit long. So 1 by 1/5 would be a fifth. Right. And those are 2/5. And I think if it were me, I'd go out to the side and write with an arrow to the side, maybe.
So it was me, and the along the bottom, the units are divided into thirds, and it's a whole unit tall. So each pink one's 1/3 of a square unit. So I added up the pink ones together and said there's 6 of them, so that makes 2 holes. They are, because I have divided on the left vertically into thirds. So each yellow is 1/3 of 1/3. So that would be 1/9.
And if you happen to be facilitating with the tool at this point, you could just drag the little dot down to show the different components within the app. So.
Well, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking that they kind of look like base 10 blocks to me. And so if I'm thinking as like the flat as a whole, then those look like the little like ones blocks. And so there would be 100 of them in flat. So I was thinking, that's how I was thinking of it. So I was thinking that if I was thinking about this as decimals, then the blue one is 1, the pink is a 10th, and then the yellow would be a 100th.
That's really cool. Yeah. The axes will actually switch over to decimals and show you halves and tenths in decimal representation if you set the increment to 10. So it's a little Easter egg I threw in. Instead of labeling the fractions, I figured kids could just look and read the partitions. But it does switch to decimal notation when you get to tenths, which is a fun conversation, I think.
We had talked about whether I can't remember the word we used, whether there were parameters or sort of, we were thinking about like kind of upper limits to how big the numbers could be. And so we were thinking if we had to have an area between 6 or 7, there was a question of how big we could use as one of our sides at lengths. And so as one of the members was talking about it, I was playing around with what if we made a really narrow rectangle so that had the width of 1/2, then we could obviously increase our length much above the 6 to 7 mark. And then we were thinking, like, we were questioning how Andrew had made the tool, because if we could go down to a 10th, we could obviously increase our y-axis way bigger than that, but I couldn't figure out a way to show that because it was hard to take a picture of that. The axis wouldn't have enough numbers.
Thanks, Teresa. I'm going to real quick drop a link in the chat towards more manipulatives. I'm not sure if you noticed, but if you just go to manipulatives.knowledgehook.com, there's actually another tool for you all to play with. So.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Teresa. I was in the process of ordering it yesterday and then saw the 4 choices and I know I don't have a Kindle. I have Audible and I just wasn't sure which one to order. So I appreciate any help you can give me. Thank you. Okay, your voice was breaking up, so I couldn't catch it, but I always send you email. Thank you, Teresa.
The dual number lines.